So the sun hits the Earth,
Hmm.
and then Earth leaves a shadow on the moon. Well,
And
the Earth could still be round.
Yes.
right.
I should
Speaking
say
of round,
circular, not sphere, but a circle.
Well,
Will
I
leave,
mean, there are other ways to prove it also, but I don't know whether right now is the appropriate time to start
but
so,
you
so
know,
great
it
discussing
may
it.
not be the perfect time to start, but it is the perfect time to start this. Brand new intro, ladies and gentlemen. Brand new intro. Good morning, and we're glad to see everybody out here. Today we are on Rumble, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, and if anybody else would like to add to their stream, feel free to do so, guys. I don't know if you've got your channels, but if you do have an audience, we can say hi to. We'd love to say hi to them. This morning we've got the men's sauna showing up today. We've got all of the guys and none of the ladies. The ladies have other obligations this morning, and
they're
that's
watching the
fine.
Marvels.
the
Yes,
kitchen.
they've got their private screening of the Marvels to go to. So, and we got a special guest today. His name is Jack. He's from the UK. So welcome, Jack. How was your week
Thank
been?
you. My week has been somewhat boring, but I've had an interesting weekend. I've been trying to track the Marvels opening weekend, and yeah, it's not looking too good in the UK. But anyway, yeah, of course, it was Remembrance Sunday today, so it was a rather emotional morning this morning, taking my daughter down to the cenotaph, etc. You know, it's like a yearly tradition on Remembrance Sunday. So, yeah, it's all in all, it's been a pretty chill but good week with a little bit of shit sprinkled on top with the Marvels.
Awesome, awesome, Cole. You got that body hid, so that's good news.
Yeah, I had to hide the evidence before the stream started.
Chill. What have you got going on this morning?
Well, the Marvels was a good movie, Jack, and I was looking at the box office numbers too because I'm curious. That's all I've been doing, like looking at there's some real life stuff happening in Gaza right now that I've been looking at, but also the Marvels and the box office and then the coverage and everyone's opinion on it. And everyone who's I knew where everyone was gonna land before the movie came out.
And me, funnily enough.
Well, JT Gamer wants to know what game you're playing right now, Chill.
Pokemon DLC, the teal mask.
What's that a DLC for?
It's for Scarlet and Violet.
Nice. Okay.
And
Is that on the Switch? Is it?
It's on the Switch,
Oh,
but you don't gotta play this one. You can skip this generation. It is so buggy.
Okay.
It's still a fun game, but like it's so choppy. You don't need to reward them with your money. Like if this shouldn't be if you haven't played Pokemon in a while, nobody
Yeah.
return for this generation because you'll be turned off even harder.
I started playing Arceus, and I couldn't get into it. Yeah, I prefer my sort of Game Boy level Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm.
And Warren, how's your day been? Are you at the bowling alley this morning?
No, no bowling this time. Just back in good old New York City. So
Back
it's going
good
all right.
old New York City. That's awesome.
Yeah, rat infested, roach and pigeon populated. So
Leave
It's
me alone.
great.
And Biggerford says you should play a real game.
He has a Nintendo Switch too, so I don't know. It's one of the highest selling games on that system, so it's a real game.
So let's get down to business and let's talk about it. Are there any majors news updates? Chill.
Kind of. It's related to him. There's a guy named Adam Foss who was up against the same Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg. He just won his case, and his attorney was the same lawyer Jonathan Majors is using, Priya Chaudhry, in his case. He was accused of word that starts with R and rhymes with vapes. And he does this to like a 25-year-old. The thing is, though, there were text messages a month before the encounter. In the hotel, she says that she declined his advances, and then when she went to sleep is when he did it, right? Which is like very hard to believe. If you're declining his advancements, you would leave. Why would you go to sleep? You know what I mean? It's just that's already fishy. But then there's text messages, her saying to her girlfriend about how he was beautiful and it was and complimenting him and stuff like that. And even though those texts exist, the judge still took it to trial, which is what this is my point here. Jonathan Majors' case is going to trial. That doesn't mean that, oh, this is a valid case. Oh, the judge thinks it's worth going to trial. Why do you think he didn't dismiss it, guys? There's something there, guys. That's just ridiculous. It happened from the same DA in the same district. So that's the update. It's a guy named Adam Foss, who also black. That's worth mentioning. But for some reason, that went to court. That went to trial, and he won. He was asking, was shaking his hand after the trial. Man, I can't believe this even went this far. What are they doing with you? This is crazy.
Yeah, well, an innocent, innocent. When you're proven innocent in a court of law, that should be the end of it. That should be done with it. At least, O.J. Simpson will agree with me on that. When it's said and done, it's done. But a lot of times people will hold grudges, and those grudges are not based on any evidence because the evidence proves that this man is innocent. And that should be it. That should be done. Plenty of people are jailed who are innocent, and they don't get as much compensation as they need when they finally get released. When you find out that yes, the judge and the DA were in cahoots against the defendants and their lawyers, and sometimes the public defenders. So it was a smart move for Jonathan Majors to choose somebody who already knew the field and the players, and has now proven to be successful against them. And maybe, just maybe, they'll take that into account before we get to the all-out trial.
Well, we got 16 days until they can possibly drop the case.
16 days, and we'll look forward to that.
They're not dropping that case. It's gonna this is a never-ending story. They're not as much as they want to. The problem is it's just this narrative that's out now. Oh my God, he hurt me, which he didn't, and why would we hold a person? I don't care if, let's say Jonathan Majors was gay. Why can't we hold people accountable for having bad behavior?
No, he touched me.
It's like that's the problem. Nobody's being held accountable, and then when you have the proof, you got people that are trying to say, like you said with the cops in that video, trying to coerce you. It's disgusting, and it's just gonna be never ending. It's never ending. So we're gonna have a case. It's gonna be unavailable at this point. So there's no point in saying, oh, it's gonna get dropped. It's not gonna get dropped.
Jack,
Yeah.
You got anything to say about that?
Well, I think it's easy for the media to spin things and say that it's proof. Just look at what happened with Russell Brand recently. They span a big story saying that they'd got proof, and yet the proof actually turned out to just be anecdotal evidence with no backing. And when you ask them for the proof, it's only proof to them. They're saying that it's verified, yeah, but it's only verified to them. It's not verified to us. Well, show us your sources. No, sorry, we don't.
The proof is in the receipts that the BBC drove the had the drivers drive the girls to the studio. So not saying
that's what they
illegal,
say, but it's anecdotal. It's just anecdotal evidence.
But they can
with Russell Brand.
Russell Brand was accused of being a happy person.
No, I know that. I just mean I was gonna say that he's been accused and all that because of what he's doing. His life's work right now has been on covering news without receiving money from the people who pay news corporations, and so he's actually revealing things, and that needs to be taken down. And the good way to go about it is sexual
accuse them.
One of those things.
Heinous accusations.
Heinous accusations.
But I mean, I'm just saying, just to go back on it. I mean, obviously, we don't know what the truth is only until it goes to a court of law and it sits in front of a judge and a jury. There has been a discovery process. And this was my argument with Russell Brand. It will never, ever go to court. If it could go to court, it would have gone to court already. They would have taken it to court, but there's no case. It's been too long. I don't know whether there's, in the UK, there's no statutory limitations or anything like that. I don't know what it's like in the US. So, I mean, is that what you were saying, that you got to wait the 12 day, like we've got 12 days left to either cancel it or go ahead with it, or what's that about?
No, I just, because the trial is on November 29th. That's the first day of trial.
Oh, so it's definitely going ahead then. There's no chance of like this being cancelled.
Yeah,
so
it
they
was not
must have
dismissed.
something on him then. You can't just take something to court. I mean, like without the evidence, surely, knowing that you're going to lose.
We
or
have
knowing
that
you're going to win
Uber
based on
footage
lack
that
of
will be
evidence.
released in 50 years.
There was
She was injured. Her ear was bleeding. Her finger is lacerated. It's just there's evidence that she was perfectly fine after leaving Jonathan. She got injured when she was drunk in the closet and was taking sleeping
Suicide.
pills. That's the word.
yes, I'll say.
But it's the same with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. You know, there was evidence that they'd both been injured, but
Yeah, but they
it
had a
had
little
to
more
go through
crap involved.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's that's a whole
On the bed.
different, yeah. But the point is that, you know, it had to go through a discovery process. After that, the libel case was one thing altogether. Do you know what I mean? Like the what the Sun said about them, it brought a load of things to the surface that you know made Johnny look like a complete asshole. But then it went through discovery, and then it like went through a really good legal team. You know what I mean? And they analyzed everything with a fine tooth comb, and he was vindicated. Who knows? Perhaps Jonathan Majors will be vindicated in the near future.
I think that's where it's going to wind up being. But you know, it's things will come out ahead of time if and this is the way it's been working. Um, what the DA has is usually leaked. So, in order to poison things out, they might start releasing things that will potentially ruin the jury pool, because they'll be just as fine with having it thrown out and having a dismissal or a mistrial and not bringing it back up again, because that's happened too. It's like, we really can't go forward, so let's start gumming up the works and making it impossible for him to get a fair trial, so that it can get thrown out and we can all just wash our hands of the whole situation and say, hey, it's cost the government and the people too much money, so we're just not going to go forward on it. Remember the...
But I mean, you look at Loki, for example. Aren't they trying to sort of draw him out of that as like remove him from the MCU, remove, you know what I mean? That's the kind of direction that they're going now, that they want to take Jonathan Majors. So he's kind of suffering the same fate as everybody else at the minute that gets accused of these Me Too things.
You know, puts it pretty good here. Says the ending of Loki is vague enough that they can discard or use Majors going forward.
Well, I haven't actually seen the last episode of Loki yet, and although I'm not looking forward to it, I still need to see it. So,
well, you know, we're not about spoilers here, so we don't want to ruin anything for you at all. So we'll just we'll make sure to cover that at a different date. So
the only thing I have to say about Loki, you would appreciate. Well, for me, I appreciated the journey Loki has had from from Thor to the show.
I'll say that they trimmed the part of Loki that had Jonathan Kang, that had Kang being featured really heavily, just the way that they trimmed a lot of Captain Marvel 2 so they could get it into as many screenings as possible. They've been, they haven't been allowed to reshoot with the actor strike, but they could definitely re-edit.
Oh, that nonsense. Sorry.
Oh, and that brings us to the next topic, the actor strike.
There it is.
So, let me move this over here.
Well, SAG could mean a lot of things, but we don't have any women on the panel, so.
Well, that's the wrong screen. Let's leave this one.
Screen Actors
Big
Guild.
checks and political galas. Hollywood donations expected to spike due to strike ending, which means that, what does that mean? That means that Hollywood itself proper can go ahead and make the donations that they want to, and then pay their actors and other people bonuses so that they can themselves donate to the same political affiliations and things like that. We're getting too close to November for the strike to continue to harm the Hollywood pocket. So um, just the fact that that was a headline in LA Times makes me believe that there have been other pressures outside to get the strike over and done with. But now that it's done with, they can move forward and do things and make TV and film um, and things like that.
You mean bad? Continue to make bad TV, bad film?
I
Please,
didn't
I'd
say
rather.
good TV.
This may
Good
be a
point.
hot take. I was going to say this may be a hot take, but I think that through the strike, they did the best work that they've done in the last 10 years.
So
Nothing.
let's
Right.
That's it. That's the one.
let's talk about the Marvel private screenings that went on this weekend all across the world. Um,
Private screenings.
private screenings. It was released to the general public, and the general public stayed home. I had shown a couple of screenshots of the Marvel's theaters. Where is that at?
21 million on Friday.
21 million
Nice.
is what it grossed. I think it was estimated to
Sheesh.
do 60. I think.
Shit. Damn.
And,
I mean, I think it made no money because, the audience they were aiming for, they were told no by all their husbands. So,
Let's
Oh,
take a look here. This is today. Previously,
I'm not
I've
laughing
shown
at
some
that joke.
screenshots online of the screenings. So let's see. In Real 3D, there should be some people buying tickets here, and there are. Family of three is watching a
yeah,
Alright.
private screen TV.
nice private screening.
Have a private screening there for that showing. For the 345.
There we go.
Oh, two families. Look at that.
Damn.
I wonder if they carpooled.
yeah.
So on Friday,
coming.
they had in
It's still early.
on Friday that was the launch day in the UK for the Marvels, and they had a special screening at the Birmingham Broadway Plaza Odeon Cinema at 3:10. There were 72 seats available, but they were all reserved for ghosts, so no people turned up for that showing at all.
Makes sense.
okay. Are we? Let's be honest. Are we surprised that this is happening? Like, are we? Like,
You know what? It really does make an
I
interesting
am a
point,
little
though.
bit.
If you where did everything go? Everything on my screen disappeared, guys. Hold on.
I mean, while you figure out
Yeah, go ahead. You were
the
saying, sir.
it's like, I mean, and we'll get to this later with other stuff. It's the last okay, let's be honest. Since Endgame, there hasn't really been a movie that we can say outside of Far From Home, which some say are good, some say are bad. That's probably the one movie where everybody's collective like this is borderline from mediocre to very good. Most of the movies have been straight up stupid, garbage, not that great. I mean, um, recastings, narratives, agendas. So why are we surprised that? And why are we surprised this happened? And nobody likes Brie Larson. That's the problem. If the people don't like the actress, why would you come? The main actress that is the cornerstone of, because remember Feige said we want Captain Marvel to lead the Avengers. That was his plan, right? And if the people don't like the actress, why would you go see someone that you don't like?
So you don't think this is a group movie, even though they named it The Marvels instead of Captain Marvel
No,
2?
it's not a group movie. It should have been Captain Marvel too. Let's be honest about this. It should have been that. They just
Did that
find
hurt the box office by
Yes,
not
it did.
I
First of
agree.
all, most of these needed. I think Kamala Khan could get her own movie. I think Monica Rambeau could get her own movie. But because that people, and I mean, I'm not a Brie Larson hater. I haven't watched most of her movies. I can't say, but the consensus on the internet and through many people's like they don't like her as Captain Marvel. And why? Again, why are you going to go watch? The reason why fans go out for, like, for instance, Hayden Christian. He hasn't. He's The fans love this guy, right? that even though Star Wars isn't in the best state, they're like, thank you, Hayden. Like, we like your performance in Ahsoka. They still come out to see him. I don't get that same reverence for Brie Larson. If you don't have that, then of course you're gonna get private screenings across the world. That's just the bottom line.
Was it who was it? It was Fear the Beardo, I think it was. He had someone was, I think it was Jesse the Common Nerd was telling me the other day that Fear the Beardo had a private screening, and they begged him to leave the cinema, and they offered him 2 free extra screenings. They offered him like 3 tickets, his money back, and 2 extra ones if he'd leave the theater and just let them switch it off, because it was going to cost them more to run the theater than it would have to give him 2 extra fucking tickets.
Oh, I get it. Oh, yeah. That's terrible for opening weekend.
Yeah, that's awful.
I think
And you'd have thought that they'd have tried to just buy up seats, wouldn't you? You'd have thought that they'd tried to fudge the numbers at least and buy up seats, because that's what they were accusing people of doing with that trafficking film. What was it called?
Sound of a Child?
Sound of Freedom?
The Sound of a Child, yeah.
Sound of a Child. What is wrong? Yeah, you talk about me and my comments. Sound of a Child. Wow.
It's wrong. It's
Let's
so
put
wrong.
that, folks.
But yeah, that's what people were what do they call that? Turfing, is it? AstroTurfing or something like that?
I understand it though. It's just like when HBO Matt was Cole saying something.
What? No.
So HBO was accused of paying people to write their own reviews of their things to kind of artificially inflate. I understand that. I have on my phone a YouTube account. It's not Chillmonger. It's a whole other name, a whole other thing, and I like my own videos for it. Like I watch my own stuff. I make sure that the click rate every time a thumbnail is there, it has a higher click rate just because I can do that. It makes sense. So buying tickets for the opening.
Farm.
What did you say?
It's a one-man engagement. It's a one-man engagement farm.
Basically, and it helps. It doesn't solve the problem, but early when a video is out, it'll assist the performance. So when a movie's opening box office turns out to be something high, then it may like radiate, and then you'll make that money back. And even when you buy your own ticket, yeah, about half of the money goes to the theater, half of the money comes back to you. So really, you waste money, but you'll get that money back. I understand it. And there's other factors to why this movie is not performing well. The actor strike is a huge part of it. Brie Larson was not allowed to be on Jimmy Kimmel, and Iman Vellani wasn't allowed to do all that media. Even though the actor strike ended today, they still missed out on like the past 2 weeks where they would be in Korea and London and all over the place doing the rounds.
Why are this doesn't make sense here, unless it's truly a good film, right?
Well,
Because,
what you have here
Ted
apparently is
Film is
100% of the people who've seen it have rated it, because you got 1,000 verified ratings, 1,000 plus verified ratings, and that's about how many people went to go see it this weekend.
Oh.
So the people that went to go see it obviously enjoyed it, or somebody's trolling somebody. Same thing here. I mean, it had a 41% Rotten Tomatoes score before the premiere, and then all of a sudden, all of the reviewers who saw it when it came out, maybe they got tickets from Disney. I have no idea. There's been some accusations as to how these scores got there. But
yeah, well, I mean, it's already been proven they fake them, right? Like that's been reported on. But also
Yeah.
for an
well,
MCU
that's what
film,
Chill was
this
just
is
saying. Yeah.
this is very low for an MCU film. The 62.
yeah, but
No,
if you-
okay. So my
Yeah.
point is, that this is how it went previously, right? If it was a shit film, yeah, the proper critics, the one on the left, that would be really high, and the user would be really low. Yeah, like the general audience, it would be a really low scoring if it was a truly shit movie, but they wanted to shill it. Yeah, the main ones on the left hand side, that would be really high, and it would be really low. And then if it was a really good movie, they would, do it really low, for the main guys, and then do it. Us guys, the civilians, would rate it really high. Yeah. So why I'm confused about this is because seemingly it's a very terrible film.
Well,
But
that's
it's
that's
getting
the
a
thing.
it's
You've got
getting a it's getting a low left hand score, but a high right hand score. So either it truly is a good movie, or maybe they've changed tack a little bit, and maybe they've
well,
purposefully done it this way.
I can come at it from my own perspective because Cole and I shared. Well, we went to the same theater. Um, when we saw the film, the thing about it is that you have people talking about this movie, and there's only two types of people that are talking about it. There's the cheerleaders and the haters. Those are the only two people talking about this film. And the film itself is not as bad as the haters say it is, but it's not as good as the cheerleaders say it is. Okay. There's an audience that this movie is specifically targeting to it. And you can see it when you watch the film that it is targeted to a very specific audience. However, they haven't marketed this movie towards that audience, and thus they didn't come to see the film. Okay. The only people that came to see the film, uh, I think, uh, wanted to go see it so they could say they hated, or wanted to go see it to support it and say they loved it. And so that's why you've got these disparaging remarks. But it was right down the middle. It was not a horrible film. It was also not the happy-go-lucky fun movie of the year that some people are saying that it was. It was
So,
middling.
Chairman
It
asked
had.
for a link.
It
But I
was
mean,
very
from
middling.
what
It had
I've
jokes
seen
that landed flat.
yeah, well, from what I've seen, it was like full of just absolutely peppered with like plot holes
Yeah,
and narrative holes.
I
So
mean,
I don't know.
yeah, pretty much.
I've not seen it, and I won't go and see it because I don't see the point in paying for something that I'm probably not going to enjoy, because I don't really enjoy the Marvel's films anyway. But my point is, I'm not. That's why I'm not speaking on how good it is, and I'm just saying I'm using words like apparently it's shit, and so I've heard, etc. Because it's just not something that I'm willing to go and watch. And like what you were saying about the haters and the cheerleaders, it's like, yeah, I mean, the only people are paying for it are these guys who are on the internet who are like making money out of hating it. Do you know what I mean? And like talking shit, but at the same time, it sounds like it's a pretty crap, not well thought through film. So
Yeah, and the director left early, I heard, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of bad.
Okay.
What we have,
Wait,
we have
was
with
there
the film,
truth behind that or no? Chill.
So Nia DaCosta spoke about that, and we have to remember that Tatiana Siegel of Variety is the one who wrote that article. It's the same one slandering Jonathan Majors.
Oh,
And
really? Oh, okay, that makes sense.
so because the movie's been delayed and delayed and delayed, Nia DaCosta had a prior commitment, and she's like, yo, listen, I do have to step out now because it's like the third one, and I'm going to go do that movie that I was supposed to do that I signed on for, okay?
I
And
see.
so they remotely worked on it, but it wasn't like a beef thing.
Okay, I see. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was bad, but is it like any worse than the other bad recent MCU films?
It was better than Ant-Man.
Yeah, it was better than Ant-Man in my opinion.
Stop that. No
Yeah, no,
way.
I could name a few things that I thought were actually very good in this, like the actress who played Miss Marvel. In Quantumania, the only thing I liked was Major's performance. That's it.
Majors and Rudd were fine. I think the whole Cassie Lang thing got pushed on too much. I'm not saying. I think that movie got more flack than anything, but I don't think that movie's. I'm not saying it's a top 10 Marvel movie, but I don't think it's as bad as people think. I've it's definitely better than the what you want to call that, the multicultural cult movie that's out right now.
Oh,
So
Eternals.
oh,
I mean, I think box office wise,
second
sure,
on the
but
list.
remember what the circumstances are with the box office. No promotion with an actor.
I really don't think that's as important as people want to give credit to. I think that's an excuse for why a film does poorly, because there have been lots of films
Flash.
that have done poorly that were heavily promoted. Yes, thank you. And I think
That
really,
wasn't to help you. That was to argue it. Flash didn't have Ezra Miller doing the press circuit, and
well,
that
he
perform.
was under house arrest. Okay, so the thing about everybody else did their best to sell that movie. Everybody and their mother
Oh,
lied about what that movie was. And I say when they lie about they said it was good. But there's a
Yeah.
couple of reasons why people go to see this film, and I think those people are just excited about things to come. And they teased a couple of things in the movie that probably people are expecting to look forward to in future MCU movies. So uh, the thing is, people want to see more. These movies have become, for Marvel at least, you go to see the movie to see what's coming up next, not to see what the content is of the movie. If it's a bonus that the content of the movie is absolutely fantastic, then you're really thrilled about what's coming later on. But if you're not thrilled about the content of the movie, you're not going to be thrilled about what's coming later on.
well,
So
can,
please go ahead.
so I didn't mean to jump. So, Second Street Marvel. First of all, this phase has been. Wait, have we started? We started a new phase. So, the phase before that was disjointed. This phase, I don't know. The Echo trailer has me hopeful after finally, because I talked about this a while ago, that I think a lot of movies can't be made in a creative aspect because Disney was under this impression that, hey, we can bring Tommy and little Susie to go see this movie when the characters are more gritty and violent per se. And I think a lot of characters, I'm not saying every movie needs to be violent or every movie needs to be gory, but like the reason why, for instance, say Daredevil was so good was because on the Netflix series, because it emulated what you kind of read. It was a gritty, it was relatable. A lot of this prior movies were disjointed. What made the whole saga of Endgame so good was that everything sort of connected, and you had one or two that had different possibilities. So when you have such dysfunction, of course it's not going to be for good movies. Like I said, the only movie I could actually think that's hands down was the most profitable is Far From Home. I think. Oh no, I'm sorry. The Doctor Strange movie was profitable too. I
No
would
Way
say
Home made more.
No Way Home made more, and Wakanda, even though it didn't have, I bet you if they recast it, that would have been a $1 billion movie instead of $800 movie. So there were profitable movies. The problem was is that this whole MCU was phased. The Avenge Girls, like he posted, was kind of the thing, and now they're realizing that this was stupid. So I don't know how they fix this. Um,
We can
that's my
start by
thing.
not marketing a film to, like, middle-aged cat ladies.
I mean, you're right.
But it worked the first time.
From Home does not suck. Stop this. Oh
Because
my
you
god.
keep saying Far From Home when you mean No Way Home. I think that's why Trinity said
No,
that.
I mean, Far From Home was okay. No Way Home was. That's what I kept saying. I'm sorry. No Way Home was the most recent Spider-Man movie. Yeah. Far
Mhm.
From Home was okay, but yes, it's the same thing with Disney and the Snow White. You're catering to an audience that's not even 2% with when you have an actress like what was her name? Zegler. I try to
Yes,
Oh
Rachel
yeah, Rachel
yeah,
Zegler.
Ziegler.
Rachel saying this nonsense and making people not want to go see the Snow White
Well, yeah,
movie.
I mean, in
It's
You know,
fairness,
weird,
for
right?
I don't
It's
think she
weird.
meant to do that stuff. I just think she's,
young
younger
and
and was a little clueless. Yes, and they should have, done the better job. Like I don't think
but
she really deserves this hate that like Brie
yeah,
Larson has gotten. It's kind of strange, especially because she's, actually a good actress, unlike Brie Larson.
yeah, but what some of the stuff she said was kind of like, I've grown up on Snow White. The prince saves you. It's some of the stuff she said was a bit outlandish. Like,
Yeah, well,
Are you sure
needed
she's a
better
good
PR.
actress? Because I mean, like
Yeah,
every time I look at her, she just keeps pulling the same stupid faces that are, those punchable faces.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see in the future. If
In
that's just
Minecraft.
her own. Jeez, we'll see if that's like her only shtick, I guess, in the future. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying she's the greatest, but she was fairly good in that West Side Story thing, which had a lot of issues, but she was probably the least of them, I would say. And
That film just didn't need to be remade. It was put
no,
the old West Side
didn't.
Story was absolutely fine.
It didn't, and they. I really like though how they just cast like a lead actor who didn't know how to act. That was great.
No,
But
hang on 1 second. 1 second. I got to just do this real quick for a little bit of a rant about people complaining about these movies being remade over and over and over again. For 100 years, Hollywood and the cinema industry has been built on making remakes of movies with slight changes, one way or the other. You start with the silent films being redone with sound, which quite horrified some people when they saw what's his name, the guy who was hanging from the clock. That was a silent film comedy, and he was climbing up this building and falling off the clock and dangling in front of all of these buildings and things like that. It was absolutely hilarious. They
Buster
added sound
Keaton,
to it.
isn't it?
No, it wasn't Buster Keaton. It was Harold Lloyd. Thank
There
you
you
for
go.
reminding me, though. So Harold Lloyd is now screaming his lungs off as he's hanging from the thing, and it goes from being a comedy movie to a horror film that made people pass out in the aisles. And then you've got to remake the movies again, this time with color, it's so movies are remade for the audience that happens to be watching them at the time. If they're watching them in sound, they're remaking the movies that the other people watched without sound. If they're watching them in color now, they're remaking the movies because they didn't have color back then. How many times have you seen a remake of A Star Is Born? I think that's had like 5 or 6 different versions of the film.
Oh yeah.
And so what's going on is that you have to remake every single thing. You have to, because that's the way Hollywood is made. So they're going to remake films like West Side Story. They're going to remake films like Dune. They're going to remake films that you think probably should or shouldn't be done. But that is the nature of the beast.
can I
And
take you back off that?
please go ahead.
You want to remake Star Wars?
No, you're absolutely right, because remember,
They did.
Godzilla was remade in 2004, then again remade in 2012, and people like the MonsterVerse currently, and they're actually doing Godzilla -1 that's coming out in December, and also
Somehow.
we have the Monarch Legacy. So, and we're seeing that it's okay to remake things if you do it the right way. Now, Kong versus Godzilla, me personally, I thought it was a good movie. It had its loopholes. It wasn't the best, but I think that it was nice to see updated version as opposed
it
to
was nice to see just 95% human scenes. Yeah.
wasn't it?
What's
Shut
not
up.
to like? It's got a giant gorilla and a giant like mutant lizard. What's
Going
not to like about that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would love that. If it was more than just like 10 minutes of the film.
I mean, but my point is that Rosales is absolutely correct. Like we're seeing the MonsterVerse, we're seeing things like, even like, if you think, like, look at Mortal Kombat, people have their things about that got remade, and some people are like, well, this isn't the Mortal Kombat I was growing up on.
I just think that you've got big boots to fill when it's a movie like Star Wars, when it's a movie like West Side Story, when it's it's big boots to fill. And if you are going to redo it, fucking do it right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't turn it into a pile of shit, because they're all right. They're doing really well with this Dune 2-parter, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not too
Yeah,
bad.
Right?
Yeah, they are. It's like
It's a good
I'm fine with
adaptation of the
remakes.
books.
They've been doing it for ages, as Rosales and them said. Like, I believe like even the first like slasher film sort of like ever made was originally a remake of something. So yeah, I mean, they've been doing it for ages. It's just, I'm just gonna criticize the bad one still though. And yeah, West Side Story, I don't think it was like terrible, the new one, but they didn't do it justice. I mean, I think just like Steven Spielberg has been kind of washed for a while. It's like he tries to make drama films for like for like IMAX theater goers, like that.
You got to
style, and it just
understand though,
doesn't.
Cole. Steven Spielberg is, still living with the guilt of what he did with the girl, who played Carol Ann on the Poltergeist. Him and his chums. He's got to live with that for the rest of his life. So it has a toll on the soul, I think, after a short while. And I think...
well, not everybody. I'm sure John Landis doesn't care.
Well, wasn't there a court of law involved
If you
in
know,
that as
you
well?
know. If you know, you know.
Isn't it, bruv? Nerd man, don't you reckon Marvel's post-credit scene was absolutely bollocks?
I do, yeah.
Not you, this guy. The other bro.
To be fair, I've decided, as you know, like I'm not gonna watch any MCU stuff anymore because it's not made for me. It hasn't been made for me since Thor, and I don't want to be part of a toxic culture.
Oh my god!
Comes on shitting on movies every time that aren't actually made for me. Like literally, they're made for someone else. They're not made for my taste. So why would I go watch it just to shit on it? So
I completely agree with that, mate. That's why I don't watch them. The last Marvel movie I watched was Iron Man 2, and I was like, after that, I was like, nah, mate, this shit isn't for me. And I've never been to the movies to see any other Marvel movie, and I don't shit on them either. It's like all I go by is like I just repeat what I've heard from other people in the sense of, well, I heard this and I heard that.
But Jack, if you went to school with somebody who's in the movie, wouldn't you like, all right, I'll see it for that reason?
Perhaps. Yeah, no, I might do, yeah.
I honestly think like fans these days are getting way too entitled, and the problem that they have with a number of these movies is that they're not in Hollywood able to write these movies themselves. And they're jealous and angry at the people who are able or have got, and that's fair enough. I understand that. I'd love to be able to make these movies and stuff like that. But the problem is going in criticizing movies because it isn't the movie that you had in your head, or criticizing a movie that clearly isn't even made for you, right? Like, why are like 30-40-year-old guys online every day making 50 videos about The Little Mermaid? Are they really that passionate about the fucking Little Mermaid? You know what I'm saying? It's
the like, money spinner, mate.
Bullshit.
I think you should put that expletive in a different part because it makes it sound like they're fish lovers.
Well, you bring up a good point, Nerdman. What, and Jack and Nerdman bring up 2 points. What did they change to take away the older crowd to keep? Because before everything was going fine, right? And then you said Iron Man 2 was it for you. Nerdman's a liar because he's seen other Marvel movies, so let's not pay it. So we'll go with Jack. Sorry, Jack.
No. I'm saying, wait. I said recently I stopped watching them because as you know, I haven't enjoyed a lot of them, Warren, as you know, like apart from like ones that everybody seems to hate, like
Guardians
Black Widow
3.
and stuff. And Guardians 3, I did enjoy that. Black Widow and Guardians 3, maybe a few others. I don't really enjoy them. So I'm just saying, like, what's the point? Maybe if I see them, I'm not gonna.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, go
on. I'm not trying to clown. I'm saying what can the better question is, what can they do, or what were they doing right to get back that audience? Because right now they're trying to target a younger crowd, and even there, or whatever crowd that may be, and it's not working because clearly it's showing with the Marvel screening. So the real question is, what can they do to get back a decent, sizable audience to their films? Or that's
I don't think you can now. I think the people that would have gone back have completely checked out now. And what's more is that while I am also of the mind that these guys are online every day complaining about the same things that they just don't like, right? However, what they're trying to point out is more of the socio-political sort of aspect to it, in the fact like that the term MCU grew out of this community, I guess, and it's because all the films have just been replaced with girl bosses and intersectionalism, and that's what it's highlighting more than anything is the girl boss, the feminism and the intersectionalism. That's what they feel like they're highlighting in the movie industry right now.
I've got to
they
take
kinda
exception with that. I've got to take exception with that. One, the movie industry is still predominantly dominated by films that star white men. Like that's a fact. Like if you did a thing of like how many films star white men as opposed to other ethnicities, and Indian, Asian, or women, you'd be the graph would be much higher for white men. But let's forget about that. Like, so you're talking about the MCU in specifically. Now, the thing that they did is they switched their politics. They appealed at first to a certain political group, right? That, for instance, you got Iron Man blowing up terrorists. Nobody was going, oh, that's super political. I get this politics out of my get this politics out of my, films. No one was saying that, but he was fighting terrorists, right? That's political. That has some kind of basis within the real world. What they did then was they got all of those people who enjoyed that thing, and plus they were young. Let's also remember that they were children. A lot of these guys were kids, and then there was the family audience who also agreed with the politics, perhaps, of those movies. And then they switched it to progressive politics. So those people that they cornered the market for, which they should have just kept on doing that, right? They alienated those people by switching the politics. But Marvel, the MCU, has always been political. It always has. If you look at the films and what so yeah, I kind of take exception to this idea that politics has suddenly been injected. That's why people are moving away.
I completely get that. Yeah, I totally agree with that too. Just to respond to that, that's why I'm saying it's like what they are perceiving as being in the movie industry.
I think I think a lot though has to do with the way that it was laid out in Iron Man. There was absolutely no way that Tony Stark knew that he was actually funding the terrorists that he wound up fighting against.
Oh, what do you know?
He was the one that wound up doing it. It became part of his character arc to undo the things that had gone on with the bad people in his business. So integrating it in such a way that it became a part of the overall whole and not just something that stands out, where somebody says, there was a line in the Marvels movie where Brie tried to dress down Nick Fury just for a second. I mean, it was just a quick line, and it put her in that position that it reminded everybody who Brie Larson was, because that line shouldn't have been there like that. Because it put her in that stance, and it's the wrong way to show that a woman is strong.
Which line was it?
I'm trying to remember because I forced myself to forget it so that I could enjoy the rest of the movie.
It was early in the film.
It was early on.
That girls can. Oh, you're talking about the new one. Oh, right. Okay.
Yes, the brand new one, because I saw it on Friday.
Okay.
Cole, you better mute yourself, because Cole, it sounds like you're just getting something done lower region right now.
Oh shit, my bad.
Yeah.
I thought he got rid of the hookers. Anyway,
did your wife put a gun to your head to go watch the Marvels?
Absolutely not. No, I wanted to make sure that because I was noticing a trend, and I spoke on this earlier about there being two types of people that were talking about it: those that do that cheerlead it, and those that absolutely decimate it and hate it. And so, when you have two extreme views on something, you have to go in and look for yourself. Always look for the information yourself. You can rely on both sides to tell you a half truth, but nobody's going to tell you the full truth. And the only way you can get that is by opening your eyes and searching on your own. So,
see, I bet you it was better than the first, but not that great. Right?
Yeah,
better than the first, but maybe not that great.
Sure. Can you share my screen? Because I took issue with somebody saying that they're not going to come back. The fans were back for No Way Home. They'll be back again in full. Like Guardians of the Galaxy made 800 million. This is going to make small numbers. But Deadpool is next. Falcon, Brave New World is not going to make money. But Fantastic Four will. The Thunderbolts, no. Blade, well, it's a low budget, so they'll make their money back. This movie's called Avengers. This movie's called Avengers also, and then we know that the X-Men are coming. There's going to be a Spider-Man in between there too.
Blade might make some money.
I think you're sleeping on Thunderbolts because people like David Harbour, people like Sebastian Stan.
But I don't know if they have huge fan bases though.
They have huge, and he's from Stranger Things. I'm looking at. I mean, Florence Pugh, okay, not so much. The actress that played Ghost, not so much. She's new. Dreyfus. I mean,
I'm not going to argue your Thunderbolts theory. Fine, I'll give you it. Go
no, I'm not arguing. I'm saying that it's a possibility. You're probably right, but it's a dark horse, is what I'm saying.
Just to go back to
comic book movies are dead, honestly. But sorry, go on.
I don't think they're dead.
Yeah, I don't think so. But
I think they're DOA, man.
I just wanted to go back to what Rosales was saying about the cheerleaders and the haters, and I think this is where some of these like detractors online who are talking about the politics in the movies, I just think it's coming from a little bit of a disingenuous place sometimes, because me personally and Nerd as well, we don't go and watch the movies because it's not aimed at us. What's the point in going and watching a movie and complaining about it online if it's not aimed at you, right? And the only way to get they're arguing that there is a high level of intersectionalism, girl bosses and whatever, and the only way to get rid of that is to, prove that the numbers aren't working. So by going and watching these movies just to fucking review it, you're adding to the numbers anyway. So why, I don't understand why you're adding to the numbers. You could say all the high seas later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
just
it's because
wait a bit, but you've got to get there right then.
Yeah, it's because they think that if they go see it and then make a review on it, then they'll stop others from buying a ticket, even though their videos probably only make like 80 views. But hey.
Sure, but I mean, look, there's another aspect to this, which is you've got to grow up, really, because there are films that are political, and they're political before the story. The politics is banging you over the head, and that makes the story bad because, the person really wasn't concerned with the story. What they were concerned with was spreading a particular message. And I understand that's something that you can be critical of, independent of whatever political stance that it may be. It doesn't, whether it's woke, right wing, middle of the wing, whatever
woke.
it is.
Woke. Herman, why do you say woke that way? You got to stop using the word woke the way that it has been sort of colonized.
I was, what I was doing there. I was just using it in.
I got my piece off. You can continue.
Yeah. So, but there's also an element where you can't just say a movie is bad because it has a political opinion you don't agree with. Right, like there were loads of movies I loved from growing up where it had political opinions that I didn't necessarily like jive with me, but I can tell that the filmmaker was so passionate about it and did such a great job of how he visualized and told the story that it doesn't matter that the political opinion isn't quite the same as mine. So, I think that's part of the problem with the fan base. And that's part of the reason that the comic book movies, I think, are dying. And, these kind of genre movies are dying in general, is because the people who watch them are too fucking immature to just accept, like, hey, other people have different opinions, right? But you can still enjoy the spectacle and whatever of the story, even though they might have a separate opinion from you.
I do agree. A movie can be sort of picked apart and criticized and be woke, but still be enjoyable at the same time if you're not so cynical about it.
Yeah, also, facts, Joker.
Well,
if you go out into it with an open heart and but sometimes the movie can just be crap.
Yeah, but all right, I'll take the Batman. I don't know if you saw the Batman and if you enjoyed the Batman.
Not
Where's
enough.
the
Not enough
trigger?
good white people in that movie. So
Yeah,
not a fan,
exactly.
man. They definitely needed to
Exactly.
uptake the undermelanation representation.
Right. All the good people were black, but look, even the gang.
Even Batman wore black.
You serious?
Dead serious.
No, but yeah. Did you see the Batman?
No, I didn't, mate. It's not.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
When I don't. I don't watch Batman now. No, I like.
That's
I
fair
got out
enough.
of it when I watched. Oh no, sorry. I've seen like The Dark Knight, and I've seen the Chris Nolan ones, but I didn't want to go and see Batfleck, and I heard. I heard. In all fairness, the new Batman was generally quite good.
Yeah, it was. But okay, so and Rosalia's comics. Sorry, have you seen the Batman? Did you like it? Or you didn't like it? What?
You muted.
He's on mute. He's on mute.
Yeah, I saw the Batman, and I thought it was very well shot. I think they made a great use of the volume. Sad fact is, I noticed it was the volume, and I think it represented street politics very, very well with the only African American in charge, allowing criminality to go along. So I think that was pretty accurate.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting point of view there. But my point was about this, that there was one line in that movie, one line where the woman who is actually not representing, like Catwoman, who is not representing the view of the filmmaker, it clearly was in line with the character she was in the movie, right? Like, so you could imagine that character would say that. It wasn't like, oh, suddenly the writer's just inserting his own opinion into, her dialogue, right? And people, a lot of people, not to be fair, it was a vocal minority, came out against that and was like, oh, the whole movie's woke just because she says this one
well,
line.
I
which
hated
is clearly...
it because I knew it
Can
would
we
have
be
those
specific
reactions
about the
from them.
line? Like, you can't dance around things. There's a moment
No,
where
I
Selena
don't mind.
Kyle says that it's all this white privilege. That's the word, right? She said white privilege.
It's like rich white.
She said nobody cares about us. All they care about is these rich white men dying. That's what
I could have sworn she said white privilege.
Yeah, white privilege. She said white privileged men dying. Nobody cares about nobody cared about us, right? The only time that the thing became news was when these white privileged men started dying, right? Which was what happened in the movie, right?
So when somebody is upset about the words white privilege making it on a mainstream blockbuster like that, they're fucking afraid that white privilege is now this popular term. They don't want white privilege to be known to the people who are just minding their own, like white people themselves who just don't think about this thing. But now it's in their movies. Oh no, this is going to change things. They may be more self-conscious and they may have to address the unfairness socially. That's who you called it, the vocal minority.
Dude,
that's
you're
what
giving
fears them.
You're giving way too much weight to a line in a movie, right? No one's gonna confront their white privilege because fucking Catwoman said about
You underestimate the popularity of movies.
This fear
the
is
effects
just
that media
completely
have.
unfounded. I just think it's a fear that is unfounded. If you want to,
of course it's fear that's unfounded. Yes, they're paranoid.
Yeah, they're paranoid. But if you want to confront those things, then you do that within the realm of politics or whatever. But no one's going to take seriously what some fucking chick says in Batman. A one-off line in Batman. If the whole thing was about that, maybe. But it's a one-off line. I just think it's ridiculous that people are so sensitive.
So was Blue Beetle when dude said it's fascism. It was just a one-off line, ha ha ha.
Right.
And so was the line from the Marvels movie that we were previously discussing. Okay. It took me out of the film for just a moment, but I was able to get back into my into the mindset of what the film was trying to be. It's it's not as bad as they say it is. It's not as good as they say it is. It is what it is, and it would have been better off being on television. So that's pretty much where that is.
Yeah. Also, though, isn't that like Blue Beetle line? Like, wasn't the joke that is that it was false? Like, just like in Peacemaker with the Aquaman joke. Like, the other two, even though they're dumb, it's like okay, but the Blue Beetle one, like, it was just a straight up sarcastic joke. So I don't understand why they got angry with that one. Oh yeah, it's because they didn't see the movie; they just saw the trailer, right?
Well, I think that white privilege line from Catwoman was poorly executed. They just needed to have a character say it in the movie. I don't care if you're saying, Nerdman, that Selena Kyle acted like a character who would be into speaking about white privilege and speaking against it. I think that it was poorly dialogued, written in there.
I do agree with you, Chill. But also, I really
why
do
do you
wish
say
that
that?
they just said rich men, because I really didn't want to see those reactions from that side of YouTube.
Well, the thing is
But
that
wait a
most
second,
movies
wait
these
a
days,
second, wait a second. Why do you say that? How was it badly written into the movie? Considering
unnatural.
It wasn't unnatural.
It was
the movie.
Me, okay,
in the
difference of
movie-
opinion. I'm good, Nerdman. We view it differently. It's cool.
I know we view it differently, but let's just make clear of the scenario. There was a prostitute who was killed, right? There was no news or anything about her, right? And then the same guy killed a bunch of rich white dudes, right?
Wait, are you
And
talking about me? Wait,
there
okay,
was lots of news about those rich white dudes, which is what would actually happen in reality. To be honest, if some prostitute gets killed, nobody's going to give a shit. And then if you kill some prominent white dude in politics, then there's going to be a difference. You bet your bottom dollar that there's going to be news about it. So her saying, "Oh, these rich white men got fucking killed, and that's the only reason anybody cares about this fucking case," is absolutely accurate.
I mean,
And
Norman, I think he's
completely
just
in
saying the
character.
delivery he thought was off in the line.
Maybe the delivery, but
I don't find it natural for the person she's speaking to is white himself. She can tell that much about Batman, and she
Yeah, but
thinks
he
she's
doesn't
just
know he's rich, I guess. But
yeah, she didn't know he was rich.
When's
Yeah,
the
I
last
just-
time you
I
were
just thought
talking
the
one-on-one
delivery
with
was
another
off.
white person and you were like, you know what, white privilege is a thing? Were you just talking to a white guy and you said it like that?
well, I can tell you
told them-
this from a writing perspective, from as a writer of films and scripts, a lot of times you write down things that are not meant to be permanently there, and you'll forget that it is there, and it'll make it through all of the different edits. And what you've got basically, what Chill is complaining about, and I remember, yeah, and you're defending, is the idea and the thought. Yes, it fits for that particular part, but the execution was not well done. It would be like if you were watching Star Trek and all of a sudden somebody says techie explanation. It was meant to fill that spot and to be changed later on, and they didn't get to it. It could have been rewritten a couple of more times to flow a lot better, to come out a lot better, and you can see that in a lot of different films.
I don't.
Let's play it.
She wasn't saying something where there was a placeholder for the thing she was saying. She was saying the exact thing that she meant. And I'm not talking about this from somebody who's like into this politics or something like that. I have a lot of issues actually with the use of white privilege, the way it's used. There's ideas that I agree with it on, and there's some things that I disagree with it on. So this isn't me coming from like a political stand. This is me coming from a writer's stand, and I think it was perfectly fine for what she was trying to convey, and she conveyed exactly what she was trying to say. Where's your example?
Do you see the screen? We're ready to press play, Nerdman. Are you looking?
All right, go.
All
Go. Sorry.
All anyone cares about in this place,
You're talking over it. Hold on.
cares about in this place are these white privileged assholes. The mayor, the commissioner, the DA.
I just don't find that delivery.
yeah,
normal.
I thought it was unnatural. Like compared to what the other line she said throughout the entire film, I thought that one just felt a bit unnatural in execution.
I think you didn't go far enough back. You
I
started
mean, if we
from
play too
the
much of
line
it,
itself. It's
I've
like
already got
he
a
played
strike
it
against
from
me, so we're not going to be playing the full scene.
You have to see the conversation. But anyway, I'm not so passionate about it. I
No,
just meant that
we don't have to
for
see the whole
people to-
conversation because you called out that one specific line. So we're going to watch just the one specific line, and that's
True,
it. And that's what we're
true.
going to judge it on based on her
True.
delivery of the line. She felt awkward saying it. We felt awkward
Perhaps.
hearing it. And it should have
Perhaps.
been rewritten a couple of times. She
But maybe
should have
the
been allowed
point
to
was to
live
feel
that.
awkward. Maybe the point was to feel awkward a little bit.
And then you're getting back to
when
the
we're hearing
political
it.
side of it and not the artistic side of it. So we're going to move on
And-
from that particular thing.
Yeah, back to the post-credit scene.
But just last thing, to criticize the whole movie on the basis of that one line is bullshit, right?
I'm just criticizing the one
bullshit?
line.
Yeah, I was just criticizing
Yeah,
the one line.
I know you are, but I'm talking about what certain
Yeah, his
people-
original point was that people criticize the entire movie on that one line.
I'm with you, Nerdman, with that.
Yes. Shouldn't be done. Shouldn't be done. And, speaking of people criticizing things for one thing or another, we have a lot of people blowing up online about a movie they didn't know about until they heard that it was canceled and being completely upset about the fact that they're not going to be able to see it. And this was Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, which is a lawyer drama, which is half in real life, half in cartoon, Roger Rabbit style, that puts Wile E. Coyote suing the Acme company for all of their faulty material. And this is the premise of the entire film. It makes some people giggle. It makes other people moan and groan. The point is,
I love this idea. When can I see this?
You cannot see it because it was written off for tax purposes. It cost them $70 million to make, and more than likely would be triple to advertise that and get it into distribution and into theaters. It was meant to be it was a previous management production, which means that it was meant specifically for streaming. So no licensing deals with McDonald's or any place else. There's no other ways for
No
it to
toys
make
or
money.
anything. No.
It was not meant to make any money. It was just meant to fill content, which is the old way of thinking with streaming. So instead of taking a $100 million loss by continuing to put it out there and going into advertising and trying to get it out sometime between now and 2015, they shelved it at a $40 million loss, taking $30 million tax credit. They're going to put it in the vault, get rid of it, and they're going to lose the least amount of money possible when it comes to this film. However, people are saying that James Gunn is ruining DC again, and James Gunn is doing, they've come out and they're choosing a reason, just like the people who complained about the Batman. They picked one reason to go after and hate something that they didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about that?
So, one of the things that I think about when talking about the money of these big companies, these big movie companies, is who is the most important person in their realm, in their sphere? Who is the most important person? It's not the customer, it's the shareholder. Okay, it's always the shareholder. How many dividends am I going to be paid at the end of the fiscal year, etc., or when they decide to pay them out, whatever. And you may lose money on a movie. You may sink a load of money into it. You may lose money on a movie, but you can claim it back on, whatever other thing. But if your customer base doesn't have confidence in your content, that's going to make the investors upset, the shareholders upset. And I think that's what we're seeing now with the MCU and Disney overall, is that I think the shareholders have been like, look, we're not seeing the same returns as we did. And I think we need to think about reshuffling management. And so the board of directors has probably shoved a stick up the CEO's arse and said, look, we've got to change this. And so apparently now they're sort of switching for the less woke ideals, like
woke,
and woke.
I mean, the reason why
But
Disney acquired Hulu.
You know he wasn't finished, right? I just cut him off just to like.
that's
for the
okay.
joke.
No, I'm agreeing with
I
him. I'm
kind of
saying that's
I kind of ramble
no,
anyway.
he's right. There's a reason why Disney acquired. I'm actually piggybacking. Disney acquired Hulu because it wasn't Hulu was making a profit, and the shareholders like that, and they're putting it under umbrella. Hence why they can do other things. So it kind of leads on to what he was saying.
They don't fully have it under their thumb. They have a majority share. However, they are obligated to purchase the last share, which is why during the investor meeting there was all kinds of shenanigans going on. Disney had relayed a price that they said they were going to pay for it, which is a lot less than the initial valuation, and it disregards the fact that Universal has to have their own valuation of it, which is going to be significantly higher than what Disney quoted to the stockholders. And that's going to drive it into a non-related third party to do the final valuation of the sale that is going to be somewhere in between the two numbers. Either way, they didn't have to answer to them as to how much it was going to cost them because they made this play ahead of time before the investor meeting. And it's this type of shenanigans that have got the stockholders trying to violently disrupt the board, add new members, and remove people that are disruptive. So they had calmed this storm down about a year ago, and now it's back up, and it's just looking like things may change within the next 2 years. The board may change, which means the entire direction of Marvel may change in the same way that Disney was, Warner DC was changed. Right now, it seems like Disney is doing the exact same thing that Warner was doing, which was spending money from a cash cow and making things that they felt like they were basically farming. We'll make all this content and people will view it. But if they don't make good content, nobody's going to view it. None of the Marvel stuff that's been on television, including Loki, including Ahsoka, has rewatchability. They will not be rewatched over and over again like The Office was, which was made for money. Okay, they made that for profit, so they had to make it good.
Or Friends.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, you have a good point there, but to be fair, that I have to blame Disney on their part there because they got movie writers to do shows. That's stupid. I'm sorry, but you don't ask. That's like me going to
the company that owns the Disney Channel and ABC and ESPN and knows all about television did not hire did not hire TV people to do that.
Right,
and that's what I'm saying is that they've got a different agenda to what they're talking about. They're not trying to make quality products. They're trying to make a specific product for a specific thing, and that thing is not profitable.
Yeah. I can't agree with you. I can't agree with you there, Warren. And you know why? You have to say why.
Nerd man?
why?
Because release the Snyder Cut.
Oh my god.
David Zaslav is new, fresh blood. He got rid of that Batwoman movie that was he did so this is within his wheelhouse. That's from a prior regime. So this John Cena film with Wile E. Coyote means nothing to me. I have no attachment to it. I know it's not making money. We just lived through the Blue Beetle release where it was meant for streaming. He said, no, let's put it on movie theatrically. And it poorly performed. Obviously, the actor strike assisted in its lack of money, right? And it was barely advertised itself. Either way, he doesn't want to go, we could put John Cena. He was just in the ring. All the wrestling fans know who he is. We could put this in the movie theaters and take advantage of that 2 million people who watch wrestling every single week. He didn't do that. I think that's a mistake on his part because John Cena is not going to be a box office bomb, especially for like a classical movie with these classic characters. So he's effing up here by not releasing it in movie theaters when there's an actor's strike and a writer's strike that makes it so that next year is like vacant. There's not going to be many films that are going to be released. All the Marvel movies have moved to next
2025, yeah.
We have such a vast open thing that Dune is going to benefit from, and he knows that. You might as well just put the movie on in the summer season.
the thing is that decisions have to be made ahead of time as to what's going to go where what's going to be pushed back, what's going to be held on to. And there was no way to know if the writer's strike was going to be over with. To go back to what you were thinking before, that the writer's strike and a lack of advertising is what harmed the Marvels. That thinking is accurate. People believe that thinking, and people in Hollywood believe that thinking. If they don't know that the writer's strike is going to be over, they're not going to have John Cena or anybody else to promote this film, and it's going to cost them more to put it out there like it did with Blue Beetle, and it's just going to lose the money. It makes more sense to lose the least amount of money by making the tax break. And I think
But I
that decision was
disagree. I don't
made
think it's going to lose money.
before the strike was announced to be over. They made the decision, they did the filing, they made the announcement,
Releasing it
and
will cost more money.
the strike was ended. So, there's nothing they could do about it now, really.
Okay, so we just heard about it after the strike.
Yes. I'm sorry.
But,
Go ahead, Nerdman.
I was going to say there's other things I think at play in in the world in general that is why films like the Marvels are suffering. I think there was a kind of trend of like kind of escapism cinema that has got so predictable in some ways that people are maybe looking for something new and more interesting. And you're seeing movies that I don't even think deserve to get the kind of high marks that they're getting. Like, for instance, this new Scorsese film, like it was all right. Like, I went to watch it, it was all right. Like, it wasn't like it was one of the lesser Scorsese movies. But anyway, and I'm a big fan of Scorsese. But there's other things. I think like the political situation, we've never been in such an unsure situation in terms of like the technologies that are rising, like AI and all of that stuff. And then like political situations, posturing with wars in the Middle East, in China and all of these kind of things.
Boycott
I think
Disney.
People are looking for things a little bit more relevant than superhero movies have been giving them. And superhero movies can give them that, but they've been, actively not.
So Nerdman, so you're saying that movies like, and I don't mean to interrupt, just to keep the point in my head. So
yeah.
People want more Oppenheimer and Barbie and less comics.
I think people want movies that say something now. Movies that have not just a point of view of, a more specific point of view, if I want to put it like that. So movies like Oppenheimer, and definitely like Barbie, are faring a lot better.
No one wants to see more Barbie.
Barbie.
WP wants to see more Barbie.
But I saw Barbie, and I've got to tell you, like, I don't think it's as great as everyone was saying. I don't think it was as great as everyone was saying, but it was a good movie. And again, I think Oppenheimer was a fucking masterpiece. Sorry, swearing. I'm sorry. I don't know if you do that on this channel.
It was a bloody masterpiece.
Okay, it was a
bloody. I swear like a sailor, mate, and I ain't gonna stop. Sorry. Yeah, those artists knew who I was before I came on the stream.
Cho has told me on streams before, but Oppenheimer was a masterpiece. I think Barbie again was a little bit elevated and overrated because of this there's this feeling, I think, both in Hollywood and among movie fans, cinephiles, of like this anti-comic book movie, thing at the moment. It's like a fashion, a trend. So people are propping up other movies, and every comic book movie that's coming out gets crapped on, even just for being like mediocre or just above average. That's enough for it to be kept. I think it is. I think generally speaking,
the same group you're talking about loves ones like Guardians 3 and many others, like and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's because that was undeniable. That was undeniable.
No, and Doctor Strange 2, that group loved it more than the actual comic book fans because they loved the Sam Raimi stuff.
I would say with Doctor Strange 2, it hadn't that movement hadn't kicked into full gear yet. Like,
Oh,
I
it
think
kind of did.
I think it's been a much more recent thing where comic book movies have just been like, all of a sudden, you know, the critics are like really cool, like Scorsese, and like, oh yeah, it's not real cinema kind of thing.
I just
Yeah,
don't have the
that-
bladder to watch another Scorsese 3-hour film.
Yeah, well, what do you mean?
Too
Maybe
old.
they've always liked those films, man. And secondly, yeah, maybe because all the comic book movies outside of Guardians 3 this year are kind of bad.
It
Well,
is
you know.
trendy. It is trendy, and it will get you more clicks to say the movie's garbage. That's what I'm saying. It is trendy, and you will get more clicks, more people subscribing, more, you know, because half these critics on Rotten Tomatoes are bloody YouTubers. You click on their review, and it takes you to a YouTube channel. You know, they're not like critics writing for some newspaper or something like that. It's like
You need to stop that. See, you're valuing old media like they've got some sort of better, I don't know, opinions.
I didn't say
People are
that.
people. Well,
I didn't say that.
you besmirched the good name of a YouTuber. What makes a YouTuber in a newspaper different?
The YouTubers are worse, definitely. Not you, but in general, yes, they are worse.
Okay, why?
Because I mean, there's all sorts of reasons.
Stutter.
But no, because do you want me to be brutally honest? They're a bunch of racist, misogynistic.
Lord. Please.
Pricks,
Next topic.
for the most part.
Next topic, please.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They spread toxicity everywhere they go.
Shut up.
So
Thank
when you
you.
read a YouTuber's Rotten Tomatoes link and you go there and you watch the rest of his content, you're like, oh yeah, all right, there it is, right there. There's the racism, there's the misogynistic. Is that how it works? All YouTube or majority of YouTubers are this way?
I'm talking about YouTube in general. Probably the ones who get on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm talking about YouTubers on Rotten Tomatoes. When you click the link, you made it sound like they're not valid just because they're YouTubers. I don't think that way.
Oh, those are just not real film critics. The guys on Rotten Tomatoes are just not real film critics. It's nonsense. They don't, like, half the time I listen to what they're talking about and they just have no idea. So
what's a real film critic?
They're no Roger Ebert. Put it that way.
Okay, so they don't sound like they're informed on the industry.
Well, I can agree that a majority of YouTubers haven't had a stroke.
Yeah. There's a lot of biases involved.
You sure?
No, I'm not sure. I don't have any statistics in front of me.
Yeah, well, you know, everybody's, you know, wrong. Once in a while, Roger Ebert, you know, said Full Metal Jacket sucks. So,
yeah, but he gave good reasons. Even when Roger Ebert said a movie sucked that didn't suck, you'd watch the review and you'd understand his point of view. That's the difference. These guys just go, "Oh, the movie sucks. The movie's cringe. The movie." What kind of criticism is the movie's cringe? Sorry, Cole. You know, like when somebody's reviewing and it's a proper like review and they're talking about, oh, the movie, like I didn't like the tone of the movie, and they don't give any kind of explanation or validation of what they mean. It's just, I don't know. I can't.
Hey, I do that. I just not all the time, because then I would be here for like 3 hours explaining. You know, like I tried explaining to you why I thought
there's an inherent meaning, isn't there? There's an inherent
there
meaning in the word cringe. We know what the word cringe is, so we don't have to go and explain, you know.
Yeah, it's like we could,
the
but,
entire
you know,
meaning.
we don't have to.
Fatal J, it seems like you think that's a bad thing.
What's up, Jay?
We
didn't get a Batfleck.
We don't need a Batfleck movie.
Yeah, yeah, we don't need any of his films, all right?
I don't need cocaine induced watching a movie. Good.
Fatal J is going to stop watching now. You hit the most sensitive. That's a sensitive spot for Fatal J, bro.
It's not going to be sold to Netflix. What they explained this in their earnings call too.
Maybe OnlyFans.
WB has explained during their earnings call that specific titles from the DCU are going to stay native to their channels and exclusively to their Macs. Okay, because it continues to drive traffic to them. Had they not done that, and they're doing this with other titles that aren't driving traffic, they're going ahead and licensing out the properties so that other people can go ahead and produce them. But when it comes down to the Snyderverse and those DCU movies, you still see them on TNT. You're still seeing them on their other legacy platforms. So they are not going to release that to be redone and rehashed by somebody else because it's still making them money. So no one's going to sell anything to Netflix, to Hulu, to anybody else.
Who said they're
They're
going to
gonna
sell
hold
it to
on.
Netflix? Was that a fate?
Well,
Another Fatal J
restore the
classic?
hashtag, restore the Snyderverse, hashtag sell the Snyderverse to Netflix, and all these things that show up that I continue to try to remove from my feed. None of it is
I
going to happen.
tried. The only way I could do it was just delete Twitter. I tried, bro. I literally tried. I was like, get this, release this, or what was it, like Snyder to Netflix, just anything to do with that, because I would be at work and I'd see something that I just completely disagreed with, and I'd have to like, answer back to it. It was just so fucking annoying.
I got Snyderverse muted, and I also blocked Will and Jada. And there was another one. Who's that guy from No Jumper with the wife? I couldn't look on my feed and see that stuff anymore either. There's been a few things I've been getting rid of, and it makes Twitter a lot more, happier.
Enjoyable.
Yeah.
Does it?
Can I go back to a question someone asked in the chat a little bit earlier? They said so none of you enjoyed Loki, and I just wanted to respond to that. The first season, what I was going to do, I was going to review the new season with another colleague of mine who I do a stream with, and so I started watching it. But in order to watch the second season, I needed to watch the first season. So I binged watched the entire first season, and I thought, okay, it's not bad. But then I realized that it didn't matter what Loki did in between. So the way that I was seeing it before was like, they brought the Avengers in at the beginning, they opened up with that whole Avengers bit. He picks up the Tesseract, and now he's a variant, right? But that didn't click in my head at first, and I was thinking to myself, this all happens between like when he's picked up the Tesseract and he's fucked off somewhere else, and then he like in Endgame, that's when he ends up dying, but he's still a bit of a bastard, towards the end of Endgame, whatever, right? But and so I was thinking that to myself, and then I was thinking, well, he's been all nicey, touchy-feely, sort of crying and eating fucking pie in Loki, right? And so, what is all this? Why such the character change? And then he's going to go back to just being an asshole at the end of Endgame. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, that's not going to happen because he's just a variant.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what he does, so it's just like it's like a reskinning. Do you know what I mean? It's the same people, but it's not the same people. And so I just that's why I'm not enjoying it, mate. That like lost it for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, Loki might be the most overrated character in film history, by the way.
But to not spoil Loki, the thing is that isn't this all a part of the plan with the whole multiverse, with the whole time thing? Because,
really? To make him a tree? That's the plan?
No, I'm not saying without spoiling anything, I'm not saying making him a tree. What I'm saying is that we've seen the whole multiverse thing has been starting before even him. So is this anything new? Like first of all, the
no, it's not. But my point is that it was sold to me in a certain way. It was sold to me with the sort of like, maybe they do it all the time, don't they? They did it with like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. They brought in the main characters right at the beginning, and then you saw nothing of them through the entirety of the show.
Well, I'm curious. One thing though, I don't want to get everybody's opinion on this. Let's start with Jack Tard. Is it like Loki and the female variant Loki? Is that like? Would that be like a hand job for yourself, or would it be like?
I think so. I mean, like
I know,
or I know for
Or
a
like
fact that
step cousin, step sister?
if I met myself in an alternate universe and she was a woman, I would fuck her because it's me. It's like it's me. It's like, you know, we're bound to get along, surely.
What if she had
You
your
know what I mean?
beard?
And if she's the same kind of person as me, she likes to fuck. So
Yeah.
we're going to end up
But with the
fucking.
beard and everything.
Oh no,
She had your
it's a
moustache.
female. If she's got a mustache and beard,
Yeah, but
sure,
it's a
why not?
variant
It's still
universe.
me, okay.
I mean, I will agree, Jack. I think that
I think
this
you're
is
sexy. Is that what you're gonna say?
the Loki that we've seen but for a show, in regards to all the other shows that I've watched, I think that this had the most show feeling.
Oh, that's what you agree with.
That's what I agree with. Is that this is
okay.
When it comes to
I thought
everything
Warren
else,
has already slept with his variant, haven't you?
oh, shut up.
You just call that
Anyway.
Saturday night.
That's for
Saturday
me.
night with the lads.
That's why I enjoy it. That's why I enjoy it, because when I look back at all the other stuff, they should have been a 2-hour and a half movie. Like if I will go back, but when I watch Loki, I actually get a show feeling. Now I'm not. Now is it the best show? By far, no. But it was it out of all what's it's been 4 years we've had. 3 years of MCU shows. This Loki season 1 and season 2 is an actual show. Not saying it's a good show. I'm just saying it's a show.
It's not a good show.
Disney Plus.
It really is not a good show. Like
I'm not saying
when you watch stuff like Generation V, The Boys,
did you hear anything I said?
Ahsoka,
Daredevil, all of those kind of shows.
Did you hear
shit
anything I
on
said?
every single MCU show. It's
you
not even
hear-
close. It's not even. No, I understand what you're saying, and I'm agreeing with you, Warren.
Because I didn't say it was good.
I'm agreeing with you, Warren.
It was a show.
It's a show, yeah, sure. It's a show. It's on, TV
follows,
or your computer or whatever.
What I'm saying is, oh my god, don't leave me with this psychopath, please. Don't do
No,
it.
go on.
This is a jail right
Spit
here.
your game.
Please.
Spit your game.
All I'm saying, Nerd Man, is that for a show makeup, right? For the Marvel, okay, it's better than everything that Disney has produced for a show. What I mean by show is you got an ending, you got.
You mean it's better than Hannah Montana? Is that what you're trying to get at? I don't understand. What is it?
For a show, it's just much better. It's just much better for a show. I'm not saying it's a good show. I'm not saying it's a great show, but it's better than I think it's better than Ahsoka, personally.
Yeah,
my take on this.
I'll stick to True Detective. Thanks, man.
I think that this show takes place outside of time. It offers for little consequences, and while there may be cliffhangers, what's the point? Every character's arc is irrelevant because we're not going to see these characters again. They take place outside of time. It's just the fact that they're out of time is immensely important. The show this season has created plot points that they resolved immediately. And then the next week they're doing something and they resolve that. And it's like making problems that never existed prior, all to accomplish one thing, which is to get Loki to where.
Sorry, not you.
Well, Loki had one little single thing that he could do that he couldn't do in season 1. And once he mastered that, that was the accomplishment of the show because nothing else mattered. The
planted roots.
The roots.
Somebody explain that tree to me. I don't understand it.
I don't want to spoil it, but
is that out of the comic books? Because you can tell me about the comic books.
Yggdrasil?
Yggdrasil is in the comic. But chill. It is. You say it's out of time, but yet the Hunter B-15 says the incident that happened in 616. So if they know about an incident, then what they're doing, how does it not matter? That's what you can't say.
I could explain it to you, and I just don't want to take more time out of the show for Loki. It's okay, Warren. It's okay.
You know what? I think you should just enjoy what you enjoy, Warren, and don't worry about.
No. That's not what I was saying. I was saying he said that it's out of time. What? It's fine.
I'm ready for this Avatar Netflix trailer. I watched it, and I'm happy for it. I was worried, but After seeing the trailer, I'm less worried. The effects
Oh,
were
let me
there.
see the trailer.
For a TV show adaptation, the Netflix budget is crazy high. So and the cast is really young, so we may get more than just 4 seasons or 3 seasons. I think the TV show was 3 seasons, wasn't it? Well, we may just get like many seasons of these characters, and they may go hard. They have an Azula, and we never had Azula in the first season of actual Avatar, with the young kids and Nickelodeon. They may be planting something and plot points. Hey, what about new characters who never existed in the prior cartoon? Maybe, that makes things more fun. What's going on, Steve? That makes things fun because this new character might die. We all watched Daryl from Walking Dead. He's a new character, so every time his life was in danger, we never went, "Oh, well, in the comics he still makes it through." No, we didn't know. So I think that the Avatar Netflix trailer, what I watched, did what it was supposed to do, and it relieved my angst. And it made me happy to see this project.
And I got a copyright strike over the weekend, so I won't be showing the trailer because I've got to walk on eggshells for a month or so before all that kind of winds down a little bit.
I mean,
please go ahead.
I'm not surprised that Netflix is spending so much. I mean, they have to because they're not. I mean, they're not the top dog anymore, to be quite honest. And so they have to ball out.
Yeah, HBO Max is. HBO Max is, funnily enough, because it actually was the only one that got profit.
I don't know who it is, but I'm saying that like Netflix paved the way, but now other people have joined the block, and they're not the top dog on the block. So I saw the trailer. I thought it was good, and Chilmar is right. If they keep doing stuff like this, then they can start saying, "Hey, start coming back over to my place and stop just going over to their place," which I mean is other streams, by the way. So I think, and they've had other shows lately. Like I just saw Painkiller recently, and I thought that was a good docu-series. So they're doing things to separate from the other, and stuff like this is going to make it put them, I wouldn't say back on the map, but more competitive. You need music. You need music when you advertise this, by the way.
Oh, no, I'm letting everybody still continue their conversation while I scroll this stuff in the background.
I haven't actually seen this trailer. I'm just watching it now. It's good.
Well, if let me just go ahead and say this real quick. Rosales Comics does put out digital comics and print comics, and they're all available at rosalescomics.com. You can go there. We also like to help out with different charities if you're feeling so inclined. We've got a link that'll lead you to the Maui Food Bank, which will help the hungry for those still suffering in Hawaii. And I can get behind helping the children. So UNICEF has got something going on where they're helping the children that are trapped. We don't usually talk about this topic, but we can step in and say something and do something if we are so inclined. So please do what you can, if not for any other reason than the children. So you can do that from rosalescomics.com.
Here.
The children, won't somebody please think of the children?
Only the children. So the trailer looks great, but the way scene were playing out makes me concerned about if they were telling the whole story or skipping things. And that's going to happen. They're going to skip things. They're going to expand things. They're going to adapt it and not do just what was done already in the cartoon series. They have separated themselves from the creators in making this particular film. So it's not, or series, it's not going to be the creator's vision of it, but it's going to be Netflix's interpretation of it and their creative team's interpretation of it. So a lot of things are going to be a little bit different. Somebody may pull out an apple crate and step on a soapbox and say something here or there, because that's what tends to happen when you're trying to fill a series. I think it'll
predict. Go. Sorry,
I was just going to say that they're probably going to hit at least 3 seasons. If they go more than that, Netflix, they have this tendency, if a show is not doing really well, they will shit can it before the third season, because in Hollywood, when a show gets greenlit, the contracts are adjusted for a 3-year period. Nobody's getting paid 100%. And you saw this a lot in Disney when they were doing their TV shows. After about 3 seasons, they would reboot the series, give it a brand new title, take them out of the hotel and put them on a boat, name it something new, and that makes it a brand new show. And what it does is it resets the time clock on their contract. So they're getting about 85% of what they're supposed to get. Nobody gets 100%, except
They
for
do
the
the
kids
same
in
with
Stranger
perfumes.
Things. So Stranger Things kids are getting all the money that they deserve, and so does everybody else on that show. And that might be the case with Avatar, because they are spending a pretty penny on it. But we'll see what happens.
I think that they're balls deep.
So I
They're
predict.
invested. Okay, go on, Nerva.
I'll just go quickly. I predict that if there's a significant amount of change, no matter if that change is good or not, the fans will hate it and be toxic on Twitter and try and bring the show down because you cannot make the fan base for these comic book or whatever things happy. It's impossible unless it's the film they have in their own head or the TV show they have in their own brain that they made up. They are not going to like it. So that's my prediction.
The original cartoon of Avatar, I think they're going to go 10 years into the future and do like a little special presentation movie of all the same characters we remembered 10 years prior. And it'll be animated too. It's going to be the same, but a continuation. They are invested in this Avatar franchise. This is the one that's going past 3 seasons.
But the thing is as well is that when we talk about paying fan service, etc., and you're never going to make them happy, people, not everyone likes all the same things, right? But people will latch on to certain things and get invested in the lore and the background, and they'll grow with the franchise. So they'll go from like the comics to the animated, and now we're moving into the movie sphere, etc., and people get invested in that lore and they get invested in the world that is built for them. It's a fantasy land that they can escape to,
right?
And when they see it being fundamentally changed and ripped apart, then they get upset about it, understandably.
I don't think it's understandable at all, because they can go back to the old things that they previously liked about it and watch those if they're so offended by the new thing. What happens, generally speaking, is people who have no familiarity with the lore or whatever go in and watch this new thing. And trust me, I'm guilty of this myself. With Man of Steel, for instance, I absolutely I was furious at that movie when it came out, because I'm a huge Superman fan. But people will go in new and love the new stuff, and then there'll be a bunch of people who claim to know every single thing about this material. They know the material better than the creator knows the material, right? They know so much about this stuff that even though the creator is not offended or doesn't care about the TV show or film, they are going to take upon themselves to care for the creator, and they make it so horrible for new people to get into this stuff, in terms of being online and whatever.
Yeah,
right.
You value them too much.
No, I know. I'm saying in terms of the online space, not in terms of real life. In real life, people just get on with their business. But in terms of the online space, it's just look, dude, you didn't like it, I like it. Just leave it at that, rather than telling me about how it doesn't match. He didn't have a blue arrow on his head; he had a red arrow in the original. It's come on, dude. It's got too I don't know, I really dislike this old guard who has to gatekeep fandoms for everybody else. That's it. And thanks for the music.
Click the link in the private chat.
Yes, everybody who wants to stick around and play a game, click the link in the private chat. We're going to play Make It Meme, which is I don't know if we played this on this stream or not, but what you've got to do is create, you see a meme, and then you've got to fill in the blanks to make it meme. So that's what we're going to be doing. And we've run out of time for almost all of the other topics. So that's okay. We can always do it a different day. But, we plan on doing playing the game. So if you want to stick around and play the game, everybody's more than happy to do so. You see, we've got Chillmonger has joined the crew. Jack Tar is here.
There's a link?
Yes, in the private chat.
I've
posted a link there.
Sorry, is this on your channel, bro? I'm sorry. This is
music?
No, you're the one hosting this. I thought it was Chillmonger.
No. This is my channel.
I apologize. Thanks for letting me on.
No, you're welcome at any time. It is you. You are welcome at any time, any place. Especially Chill's. Chill's place is open for you 24/7, 365 days a week.
Yeah, man. Where do I send links to you? Because did you get it from your email, or did Cole send you the link?
It was you sent me the link, didn't you, by email?
Facebook, I think. It started. I can't believe that started.
Son of a bitch.
I wasn't paying attention.
Christ.
I don't get it. What do I have to do?
Christ.
You gotta caption it.
Oh, I've got to make I see.
I can't think of anything. I'm stuck.
Everybody's getting a different picture to make it meme.
Oh, I didn't know you could pick a different meme.
Well, it's because I didn't tell you.
I ain't got no time left now.
That'll happen sometimes, and then everybody votes on what they've done.
So I've submitted mine.
Oh, good.
Submitted. I got a very topical one.
I may have messed it up.
Everyone loves Kathy. Kathy, everyone loves.
So you can meme buddy it. You can upvote it.
Oh, it is Kathleen. It is Kathleen Kennedy, yeah.
Yeah,
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Let's see here. Disney fans. Reboot. Is this supposed to be like a happy thing or a sad thing?
That's up to interpretation.
I've never seen this movie. Puss in Boots.
It's a reboot.
Purple poopy head. Reality is often disappointing. I don't get it.
I like it.
I like it.
And yes, WZ, that is Nerdman. Didn't realize he was in the wrong part of town.
When Selena mentioned Bruce Wayne's white privilege.
Hey, WZ.
Boom. Boom.
Maybe she did assume Batman was black because of his suit.
It was the eye makeup.
Barbie was a better movie than people gave it flack. Shut. I've never seen this meme.
I have never seen it either.
What does that mean? Barbie was a better movie than people gave it flack. How did? Wait. Who did that one? Oh,
It
are we
looks
not
like
supposed to say who
it
did?
looks like they're shutting the person up mid sentence.
So Chillmonger takes the lead.
Whoop whoop.
Orange Pikachu.
Yeah.
So what? Am I second? No.
I think that you are. Next round
really?
starts.
Well, I got literally no points for that.
I don't want to do 3.
Oh Jesus.
What?
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know.
I nailed mine.
This is
Movie
gonna be
reference. I
highly-
hope everyone.
This is going to be highly controversial.
Time's up. I don't know about Ahsoka.
I'm terrified at the response to it.
Okay, Ahsoka, Hera.
I've got a jacket like that.
I want to say I couldn't think of anything.
Black Lives Matter. Why is lives not laughing?
Sorry, I don't know. I couldn't think of anything.
You can always
This
switch.
does
Yeah,
not-
me.
You can
This
switch.
does not mean
You can switch
anything in terms of. Can I switch?
Yes, you can switch them before you.
Oh, I'm getting that on.
I wrote a screenplay that died in development hell called Attack of the Killer Squirrels.
Loki outside of time. Loki thinking about time.
What am I supposed to do here?
You can upvote it, you can downvote it, you can you can give it a
Oh.
meme buddy bonus. You got to vote on things.
Still with the woke shit?
All right.
The music kind of stopped right during the voting. Hey, I don't know about Ahsoka, but that Hera ass be looking fine.
Warren holds into the lead. Look at that.
Oh yeah, good.
Oh,
I'm
what was
glad
Jack
I'm
Dark did
lost. I really am glad I'm lost.
Negative 500.
I've never been so happy I'm lost. It was just a thing of him laughing, and I was like, oh, what can I say?
Oh, I can switch. I forgot.
Oh shit.
I like this game.
It is significantly better than the last one.
Okay.
And I think as soon as everybody finishes, the time jumps ahead.
Five seconds remaining.
He's probably thinking
Her.
about other women.
There's a philosophical question here.
It's
You
quite
get
big.
consent, but you need to also let her know that she's you.
Hmm?
My wife. All right. My wife's friends still wearing masks. Me about to give my COVID opinions. Disney trying to fix their franchise? Emergency meeting.
Well, I guess if you were stuck with that meme, yeah.
Oh god.
Hmm.
I want to apologize in advance again.
Don't let us know which one's yours.
I think we know. I think we know.
You earned this downvote. You shouldn't have said anything.
You're an idiot.
End credit scene. Visible confusion.
What does the meme buddy button do?
It gives an extra point or two.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
See
Warren
here,
wins.
Okay.
no meme
My-
buddies right here.
My official goal is to come last in every single one of these.
Meme buddy. No
Yes! Yes!
No meme
Did
buddy.
I get downvoted as well?
Yes, by 750
Yes!
points.
750 points! Fuck yes!
And no meme buddies. Here we go.
Fucking
Game
great.
over.
Alright.
Oh, yeah. Let me disable that real quick. So the big winner is Warren. Congratulations with 1750.
That's just because he's so politically correct. You're so PC, bro. Just trying to appeal to the like
Purple
to the
poopy ass.
masses and shit.
So wholesome.
Unlike the movie studios, he knows his audience. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
He knows exactly what to put.
So I'm glad I went from 0 to 30 in, 3 rounds. So
Somebody's got a question for Nerdman.
Is Nerdman black? I don't believe in.
I thought I paused that.
I don't believe in race.
He's transracial.
Technically, I'm brown anyway.
He said he's dark orange.
Dark orange.
That's what brown is.
WZ, are you black?
I still think he's Tyler.
So what's happening now? I'm so excited.
we're just waiting.
This music just makes it so exciting, you know. You never know what's
Mhm.
gonna happen.
you could get dead air. You could get anything. Just bopping along to the music. Because they can't hear it. They can only hear Rosales' music.
Alright.
All I know is I'm getting some anti-ans after this. Don't you like cinnamon nuggets, guys?
Cinnamon nuggets? Did you say cinnamon nuggets?
You can't swear? You can swear.
When my wife's mouth. When
Oh,
my
I was meant to say
wife's
keep my
out
wife's
your
mouth out
fucking
your.
beef.
I fucked it up, man. Shit.
Oh, have I got one? Sorry, I didn't even know I had one. Shit.
Well, that's okay.
I don't believe in race. Black Lives Matter, though.
Is he on the can? It looks like he's on the throne.
It does, doesn't it?
That, by the way, all right, I'm not going to say anything.
Auditioning for Black Adam.
All right. Someone should let him know speed kills.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Warren.
You're welcome.
Winner.
Jack Tard, 760.
It happened right as I saw it all happened right as the meme came in, and I was flicking through them. I saw it, and I thought it's got to go in there. It's got to go.
Perfect.
Who did that one? So that was
me.
you. Oh, right.
Take that.
Oh, this is interesting. I can switch meme though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Caption 1.
Oh Jesus, I don't know.
Damn it. Oh, fuck you. So there's only so many times you can recycle the meme. Shit. So now I'm stuck with this one.
That'll be exciting.
I don't know how.
Unlike Marvel writers, you got to use your creative juices.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I am stuck with this meme. Shit.
Black Lives Matter again.
Oh no.
Time's up.
New director hired by Marvel. I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
Dogs in the background.
You already have a winner.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Hmm.
I don't even know if it's going to take mine. Yep.
That's really clever.
Nope. Not giving this one any love. I'm pro women.
I cook better.
Trying to like the Marvels, but Nick Fury gets demasculates.
Demasculate.
E for effort. Hush, dog.
this. Oh, that's hot. That's real
That
hot.
was it was a good one. Let's go.
Sorry, Warren.
All good.
Oh, got the same one. Oh, what have we moved on to?
Oh, I am so sorry. I forgot I was sharing the screen. Where'd it go? Did I get rid of it? Oh, here we go.
No, there it is.
I was doing a little housekeeping. List of experienced TV directors on Marvel's payroll. Possible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
Next meme. Just read the script revisions, and you're gonna want a taco first.
Read and read are spelled the same way.
Sorry, do it again.
Just read the script revisions, and you're going to want the taco first.
Oh, much funnier.
Too bad it wasn't funny when you voted. Absolutely no idea about the Marvels, and at this point, I'm afraid to ask. Let's see if everybody can get an upvote.
I give that one a meh vote. I see the booty. Ooh, yeah. Hold up. How is his voice from the show?
Which show?
Fat Albert.
Is that the Oba Kaby dude?
I don't know. Good at grammar? I am.
You gotta do it in the voice. Good at grammar? I am.
Yeah. Grogu, Baby Yoda.
I really should have put lice matter black. They do.
Lives Matter Black. I am.
You're not achieving your goal. You're third at the moment, dude. You wanted to be last in every game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah! God damn it!
Oh,
So
I
messed
thought that
up
was
and succeeded.
shit. Good at grammar, I am. No, everyone's heard that one before. I thought I'd get lost.
all right.
This is fixed. This is Rosales keeps coming first.
No,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't come first
How
the
are
last
you
time.
coming first?
No,
every
I know.
time, bro?
Yeah.
I'm rage quitting.
Yeah, I think we should probably quit this game. I think it's pretty good. I enjoy it. It wasn't the best games we've ever played, but it was all right to try it out. What do you guys
It
think?
was cool.
I thought it was
good.
pretty good. I enjoyed it.
We needed
Sometimes
that
it can be
game
a bit
music.
challenging to think of things off the cuff.
Uh-huh.
But it is what it is. You do your best, and maybe some jokes land, some jokes don't.
You just enjoyed it because you won, or you were winning. The Nerdman one was good, though. I have to admit, that was pretty good.
Let me see here for a second.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes it can come in a flash of lightning, and then other times you really have to work at trying to make something up for it, and especially when you get stuck with it. You know, when it's like your last one, or like when you don't realize you can skip through them and you're stuck with that, what you feel like you're stuck with that one, and you've got to make something off of it. Having that choice there to be able to skip through the means is a bit of a godsend. It just gives you that little bit extra choice. But yeah, having someone pop up in the chat and say something like that, and then the perfect meme comes in front of you, you gotta. And sometimes they land, and sometimes they don't. Just try your best.
What's up, guys?
What up, guys?
Well, tell us more about fucking. Tell us more about fucking your variant self.
What?
Like, how would you approach that?
Well, I mean, like, if we both know we're variant.
It's brought to you by DMR Hosting, dmrhosting.com. Fast, affordable hosting with the corporate rates starting at $8.99, but business rates starting at $4.45 a month. Get all the quality services that you expect from everybody else, just at a price that you could afford. Now, back to Jack Tard and his variant.
Yeah, my female variant with the beard. She can have a shave, it's all right. You know, loads of women have down on their face, you know what I mean? They just, bleach it or whatever.
As long as she's got a Brazilian, like you, right?
Yeah, you don't look at the mantelpiece when you're stoking the fire, so, you know.
Well, when you got them turned around, you just don't see the beard.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I guess,
they used to make the excuse back when I was a kid, call them Butterface. Everything Butterface.
Yeah, she's a Bob Fock. We've got this thing over here. We say Bob Fock because we've got a show over here called Crime Watch, and they show mugshots on Crime Watch. So we say, "Oh yeah, she's a Bob Fock, body off Baywatch, face off Crime Watch."
Do they still do Crime Watch?
I think Crime Watch has finished.
I think it's finished ages ago, right? Like in the 90s?
Yeah. I mean, but we have a show over here.
Yeah.
We still have it. You know, it's like culturally relevant. If you, I don't know.
I love those. Those were great. Do you remember those? And like every week there would be like, on the special episodes there'd be a stranger who would, like kidnap a kid or something, and he always looked a little bit like Chillmonger, just like walking around in the corners in the park.
I do. I remember that. Yeah,
it was so scary. I used to love them.
Oh, don't encourage this.
Hey, this is our guy. I had a feeling.
But yeah. If we know each other, we know that each other is a variant. I guess it's not going to be that difficult. And besides which, like I said, we'll obviously fall in love with one another because it's me. I know who I am.
Okay.
And I know that I would fall in love with myself.
Well, it'd be external narcissism. So.
Exactly. It's the perfect embodiment of my character to fall in love with myself.
The benefits, though, of knowing yourself is there's no spontaneity. It's yourself.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely the ice is broken. Being checked.
The ice is broken. What comes out of it, though, is like, what about if you had a kid? Ooh, because are the genetics the same? You know what I mean? Like, is it too close in the family pool?
No, not all 23 will be the same chromosomes.
It would be like fraternal twins, wouldn't it?
Would it?
Fraternal twins?
No.
The boy and the girl at the same, and
no, but they're not identical.
Yeah, but if those twins
they don't have the same genes.
It's completely different.
A variant supposedly.
I think we're thinking too much about it.
I do as well. I absolutely agree. But a variant would supposedly be genetically identical, so it would be a mono.
Apart from the fact that they're a woman,
I think the universe would explode.
Disney didn't think
yeah.
that through. They didn't think the kid thing through, and just we're gonna have the same parents. And so if an offspring ever happens, it's gonna be a very magically warped, dangerous offspring.
I think that's why he
But
impregnated a
wouldn't
tree.
you end up loving yourself? Like, I know, like, I'm narcissistic as well, but I'm also like really, like, I'm my worst critic as well. So, you know, you'd end up like being, you don't want to know how you are in bed, for instance, right? Like, imagine you're crap in bed.
I
Like,
know
you
I know
find
how
out.
I am in bed. I'm terrible in bed. I don't care about that.
So you're expecting bad. Okay, I get
I'm
you.
expecting them to be able to work themselves up a bit first, knowing
Oh, yeah,
full
you
well
made
that
an
I'm going to be
financial
in.
investment.
You're in, you're out, you're sleeping. Do you know what I mean? It's like, look, I
Right,
just
right.
one before I go to sleep, one before one after I wake up, one in the middle of the day, maybe, for lunch.
It'd be awful if your variant didn't want to sleep with you, though, right?
I guess it
You
would be,
meet each
yeah,
other and
because
like,
I mean they do have a choice in the matter, obviously,
right,
but I'm just
exactly.
saying that if it is a true reflection of me, it's I'm a fucking horn dog, so
Ooh,
I
you kiss
see.
your mother with that mouth?
so they would be too.
Official title. um. So
We're
Well,
just
Echo
talking
had
about a
a-
hypothetical. Do you know what I mean? It's never going to
Oh, yeah.
happen.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing illegal about any of this.
There's something fucking morally weird about it, though.
Just because the laws don't exist yet doesn't mean it's not morally weird.
It's just not illegal yet. So that's the bait. Yeah, that's the best part. Let's see. Bryce says, I have.
all right, guys,
fell
I'm
through a
gonna love
black
you and
hole.
leave you.
Well, we're about to wrap everything up here too. So thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Even if you didn't know what neighborhood you were
Thank
in, we
you.
were glad to have you there, Nerd Man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And
It was
Jack,
a pleasure.
thanks for stopping
as well,
by.
meeting.
Appreciate it.
You're
And,
very welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I was glad you found the time to hang out and talk about all kinds of mind-worrying things. And Warren, thanks for not
It's
going
totally on
bowling.
brand for me, though.
Thanks for
I'm
not
glad-
what?
Thanks for not bowling. I'm glad it wasn't a league afternoon for you.
No, but not till next year. I'll have 3 trips next year for you guys. So.
But I think we are going to leave the show with a guy I found on the interwebs. I think it's what is it? Instagram. Yes. His name is Anthony.
Is Anthony Canadian?
Anthony? No, he's from probably up east. His handle is Nobody Cares Anthony, which is probably what he hears a lot whenever he's talking. Nobody cares, Anthony. Nobody cares. So let's watch a little bit of him as we head on out.
Can we go through some of these misspelled labels / funny signs, please? Nothing tickles your taste buds better than Uncle Dave's sausage. Yeah, so the calamari, is that fried? Also, the lamp, is that desk? Yeah, excuse me, sir, you're about my height. Will you come take a shit in this for me? Can I get one bagel with butter and the other bagel with cream creams, please? They say all dogs go to heaven. Not true. Some of them go into biscotti. Hey, Kathy,